Welcome to another section of Redecor design reviews, and here we have some beautiful balconies, reading nooks, and let's jump right into it. This is going to be a little bit hard because they are both beautiful, and let's take a look at what the different designers picked here. Very clean Nordic style, I would say, here on the top, and a more floral and colorful style below here, but it also works well because there are flowers in the picture. So this one looks a little bit more worn and used. You can see there's some used or parts on the chair where the paint came off. Same here on the wall. So this user went with a ancient look, which works well because we see here on the window it's an old apartment, certainly from maybe the 1800s, 1900s, and that's why also such a floral pattern works well, especially because there are flowers in the picture, there are trees behind, and this ancient wood has some green tint in it, green to lavender, and that goes super well with this wallpaper. So even though the wallpaper is very high in contrast, the floral pattern makes it a bit softer, natural looking. It's not strong, stark lines, which would have been too much here, like a zebra pattern or so that I would not have picked. But this one looks nice, and there's high attention to detail. There's even some cracks on the little vase here. So the user really went all in on a believable old used apartment. The floor is not typical for it. In such an apartment, I would have expected a wooden floor like we see on the upper one. Maybe some wooden planks, simple planks. That would have been the expected floor. And potentially also a way to add some more warmness to the room. This room with the white floor looks clean, which is great, it works. But I think a warmer color on the floor would not have harmed this room and also worked well. But great design overall, very believable. On the upper one, we see as a color the blue pillow, the blue tea service, and the bluish striped wallpaper. So this is great, but then there's a lilac vase. That's a splash of color. I see there the user wanted to add some contrast. If it would have been the same as the teapot, it would have been hard to separate, but I would have gone in the brighter direction with a white vase, like we see here on the bottom one, because also the flowers are white, and I think that would have just lifted this entire space and made it like very, very bright, very, very clean. I love the pattern on the floor. This is not the standard, the standard lines or so. It's a really nice floor. Also an expensive choice of material. So this is beautiful. Potentially I would have tuned down the color of the pillow, gone with a white pillow here, white, and then have the blue only in the tea and on the wallpaper, because the wallpaper is hardly blue, and only the pillow adds a very strong color here. And could have also gone in the greenish direction, no, but it's nice. So what shall we do with this design? Hard to say. I go with the lower one because it's the more daring design, but it's extremely well executed, and there's a lot of bright and clean and easy Nordic designs, but applying a wallpaper in a beautiful way, in a harmonious way, is quite a skill, and I want to reward that. So the next designs are again a wallpaper on the top now and a very clean look on the bottom. This user went with a greenish tint, which is what I would have almost suggested to the previous user, because we have the green out here in the tree. So this is a great way to connect the outside and the indoor space. And then again, a very experienced designer. We see the green continues here to the vase and to the pillow. So we're staying in that color scheme. And then we have the white of the flowers which were given, and they also are grounded here on the chair and the furniture. This all works super well together. The tea pot is the tea glass is gray. The teapot is black. For contrast reasons, I believe white would have not worked on the table. Wood would have not worked because of the background. Green as well. So this was a tricky choice. I might have looked for some sort of jade. Jade and green tea go very well together, but maybe that wasn't available, or would have not worked with the contrast to the vase. But actually, yeah, having some green pot here, and then a white vase in the background, that could have worked contrast wise. So you can set the service apart and the vase also apart from the table. On the top design, the user went with this floral wallpaper. Again, that's a great choice because of the flowers. Good to not have something that's too stiff in a cozy reading nook like this. And then that was continued with this rose pillow and cup. Not exactly such a good match of the colors like the lower user, but still very well. And otherwise a very clean and white and bright room. Very elegant, comfy, cozy to read there. That said, I think the white chair goes very well with the upper design, because there is a lot of white in the wallpaper, in the wood, in the floor, everywhere. So white really works well in this. On the lower design, the white chair looks a little bit unfinished to me, and I could have imagined a more tinted wooden color for the chair. Not such a dark wood, but a bright wood. Just to stay in the warm, to give it some warmer look and feel. The white might be a little bit too extreme for these otherwise pastelly colors. So some sort of eggshell color would have been my preferred choice for this user. Something like this. And because of that, and also because I do want to appreciate beautiful wallpapers, which are very hard to use, I'll pick the first user here. Now in this design, we have wallpapers or murals on both sides. Again, a brown and a green theme. Beautifully executed, very expensive material choices. The trees are funny because they do kind of continue with the tree outside, so great connection here. for people who really miss nature. I mean, let's not forget, we are in a city here, so having so much trees on the wall is rather unusual, I would say, but that can also be the urge to see some nature. And then, of course, we have the foresty colors, the brown pillow, the green chairs, a bronze, beautiful bronze teacup, and the white, ancient white crackled vase that goes well with this a little bit used materials on the floor and on the window. So this is very natural, kind of giving a natural feeling. The upper one is a little bit more sophisticated, more more renovated, better in shape, I would say, from the materials. It's a beautiful wood here, a very clean floor. And that is important because there's so much patterns on the wall that if the floor would have also had patterns, it just might have been too much. And it's also nice how the yellow or orange cup and the blue pillow bring in all the wallpaper colors to the accessories of the room. A good choice also of the wooden frame here, which is not completely white, because there is no white anywhere except for the flowers, and that helps to tie it together and not have any foreign looking objects in this setup. A very beautiful choice as well, and a very hard choice decision to make here. I will vote for the first apartment because I believe that in a city having so much trees is a little bit of a break, weird foreign looking. Having that more in an outside cottage would have been nice, but in the city, the upper apartment is more a city apartment for me. So the next designs are very clean and yeah, extremely clean, clean floors, clean walls. The upper one even clean frames. The lower one has some more texture here in the wood. I'm initially drawn to the lower design because of the higher contrast, and it's still quite harmonious. We have the white outside, the white on the floor, up and down is white, left and right is blue, in the middle it's all brown. It works. This little mess on the table, I would have not done like that. Why is there a golden teacup? Maybe because the gold was connected to those metal objects on the door, and the user wanted to have a door handle that is set apart here. But I would have picked a white. I would have done that in white, to be honest, because neither the gold nor the lilac here of the vase really fit well to the design, in my opinion. So white or silver or chrome would have been the better choice here. On the upper design, it's more calm, more boring, one could say. Here's a different wood on the furniture to the background that helps to set it apart, but I think it would not have been necessary. This chair could have as well been plain white or in a more white style. That also would have worked well. The user tried to get in some color with the red pillow, orange and gray. Yeah, not my favorite choice. I think a green pillow because of the green tree, and we don't have any other green here, so this red is also not connected to anything. Then going with something that's more in the green direction would have helped to connect some of the elements to what's already given from the design. Neither of them is as good as the designs we saw before. I do prefer the upper one nonetheless if I think about practicalities as well, white floor, hard to keep clean, but also because I feel it's a little bit more cozy to sit there and read. It's not as exciting as the lower one, but it's more cozy for reading. And the lower one I would maybe choose rather for an office where you really want to impress somebody. The last designs are again very interesting, especially the upper design. The lower one we have already seen. It's the calm, can't do wrong type of design. But here we have a bluish chair, yes, to work with the blue sky. This setup here is quite beautiful, with the white colors, but still different materials, a little bit crackled vase, and a beautiful white teacup. So that does actually work, and I like it. Not particular fan of the tiled floor, and neither of that blue chair. I think here going with eggshell would have just made this very plain, very simple, can do nothing wrong kind of design. The upper one is certainly more daring, very, very strong colors, very strong contrast with the black frame, but it works because it's white outside, it's white on the wallpaper, so it's not a too dark of a room. If everything would have been black, that would have been too much, but now we really have, like, if that would have been also black, that would have been too much, I assume. But with the white wallpapers and the black elements in them, so that's always the difficult part, right? You could have had it all white, then it's just plain, playing with contrast. But that's not what the user did. So we have some nice paintings, drawings on here that help to connect the wallpaper with the wooden framing. And then we have the white chair, we have the black elements here, and then some brown to not make it maybe look too harsh. I mean, this could have even been black, but then it would have almost looked like a black and white photo. It's possible, but as you see also now, this vanishes pretty much with the black background, so there was a need to set it apart both from the chair and from the background. And the user chose a warm color to give it some warmth. We are in a living room. Again, I could have also pictured this to being green, just to connect to the tree outside, since that's the only color splash we have. But that's also sometimes depends on the choices that are available. But this would have, for example, been a very modern interpretation of an old building, modern renovation. Nonetheless, I very much appreciate the great use of this wallpaper, and I know a lot of people are voting for the plain white design anyways, but I really don't like the blue chair here, so vote for the upper one. And that was this voting. I hope you learned something for your next designs and have fun in your redecoration projects.